Hi, everybody. My connection to my land is right outside my back door. This field is one of three that I tilled as a kid when we farmed. And my house that I built is on 110 acres of family farm lot. As we come down, you'll see the back side of the house. And what we're going to do here, it's going to be kind of a guided tour along my mountain bike trail that is right behind and around the house, just past this fire ring right here. And so you're going to hear some music, a little bit of Bach and some Parkington Sisters, and I'll give you a little view of what the land means to me. To an extent, I've reclaimed my childhood with this mountain bike trail as it winds behind the house where I grew up and into the pasture that used to have sheep and cattle but now is overgrown. I don't know, every time I travel on it, it's immensely special. I see myself as an 8-year-old climbing this little hill next to an old dam, and the beauty of the environment I get to live every time while climbing these steep hills and staying healthy. Approaching Hickory Hill here, we head down into this cool little tunnel of trees. A big lone hickory tree dominates this area, and here is its progeny, a ring of hickory trees. I've never seen a formation like this before. And into it I put a bench which it's being consumed by the earth whence it came, as indeed we all are products of this earth in all ways imaginable. Just like this hickory tree itself. And I think I get closest, perhaps, though I haven't studied them, to the Native American idea that there is no ownership of anything. We are it. Earth messing with earth, in a sense, describes all human activity. This here, my trails through the wilderness, I'm just a piece of earth manipulating the environment around me. And I don't know, idealistically, maybe if people saw themselves as earth, they would be less likely to wreak havoc on each other and on the environment in ways. I know that's hopelessly idealistic and naive, but it's the one way in which we are all the same. These intersections can symbolize choices of directions we as humans can take. Or do we have a choice? Are colonizers, the big, strong, dominant because, do they do what they do because it's in their DNA to do so? the powerful. They have the ability, they make the choices that they make. I think if that be the case, because we can never separate ourselves from our DNA, colonizers and the colonized are here to stay.
You are the king of your own lonely castle, way up there in your tall tower. See me here with my tambourine on the ground. I've got nowhere to fall. Not in a tower, throwing my long hair down for some prince to rescue me.
And it's this dominant force, the dominant group, the winners who get the story, who get the history, because they have the resources to make it so. And those who read it, even the colonized, who have assimilated into the dominant group's ways and can reap the benefits to an extent, they will believe it and take it as so. So when you have enough people believing that what has happened is right and true, how can they be wrong? And sure, the old ways are not forgotten, but they are absorbed in such a way that perhaps they're not as relevant as they once were.
As the wolf again found his tongue, and he sang a song. He sang a song, sang a song.
And as I approach by the Black River here, this swimming hole that my parents used when they were kids, I realize that that name exists only in my mind, and that indeed these woods would only be a figment of my imagination in a sense, but for the fact that I experience them. I follow these paths. I immerse myself in it, and that's what gives it the tangible meaning and I suppose value, if there's a way to value it. It's not a sense of ownership, it's a value through experience. This bridge traverses an erosion ditch, and it enables Dad to get from one side to the other as he taps maple trees to produce maple syrup. My mountain biking trail goes right across the river here, through the water. It's a cool ride. And there's a half-mile loop on the other side through sycamore groves. And I cross back over the river downstream a ways. Here the sugar bush produces the best maple syrup, pure, that I've ever had, all bias aside, I promise. Dad and his friend do it every year. late February, March. And out of the woods, back into the fields that I tilled as a kid. Fields that I experience, woods that I ride through, majestic oak tree that I marvel at, all because my group took it over from those who were once here. We usurped this land and destroyed a culture, or forced that, and forced them to assimilate because our group was the dominant one.